Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you today? We have for you, we're going to go through some of the tweets now. This is about a subject that really irritated me. There was a hashtag that appeared last night, and it's continuing to gain traction, and it is hashtag DontFundGBNews. Now, GB News, according to the thousands of NPCs who have tweeted this hashtag with all kinds of just ridiculous nonsense, wanting it cancelled. This is just cancel culture gone rampant, wanting it censored. Bearing in mind that GB News, wait for it, hasn't even aired yet. It hasn't even aired a single episode, okay? It's been referred to as Britain's Fox News. So the leftists on big tech and mainstream media, Twitterati, are up in arms over it. And as usual, they're whipping themselves up into a frenzy. They are flagellants. They, like those medieval flagellants, they whip themselves into a frenzy. That's what they do, okay? Most of these people don't even know that GB News hasn't even aired yet. They don't know that. They don't know anything about it. All they know is that they've been programmed to hate it, and the programming language that the masters of the NPCs use is the hashtag. They can get people all around the world to hate something, or love something, or believe something, or disbelieve something with a simple hashtag. It works every single time. So let's get into this. We're going to read some of the more bizarre ones. In fact, we'll just read them as they come, because it's a non-stop stream of cancel culture and hate directed towards a broadcaster that hasn't even aired their first episode yet. Unbelievable. So we'll get into this video now, but if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video around. It's more important now than ever because I'm currently outside of the partner program, suspended from it. I will reapply in a month after making some changes to the channel, but I really need your help to grow this channel by sharing this video around. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we'll start literally with the latest and we'll run down. Now, there are some rare tweets by people trying to push back, but mostly it is people retweeting this far left Quango. It's an NGO, Stop Funding Hate. This is an NGO that exists to shut down anything right wing. They want it deplatformed, demonetized, censored, cancelled, gone if you have a single independent thought. So let's continue. So Daniel Blake says, if we see one advert from you, this is at eMobile and Tesco Mobile and O2, so cell phone providers. If we see one advert from you or just hear of one, we're gone forever. We don't want even more hate and strict message control supporting this government of barefaced lies. I don't know what they mean by this. This government of barefaced lies. We prefer facts and honesty. Do you now? So, what has generated this rage? They had obviously saw the tweet by this Quango, which said, if you want to help stop Fox News style TV in Britain, tweet your mobile phone company using the hashtag DontFundGBNews. Urge them not to advertise with GB News or any, quote, Fox News style channel. By Fox News style channel, what they mean is someone who's not a part of the hive mind. Fox News is the only news broadcaster in the United States, possibly Western Hemisphere, who doesn't have that hive mind liberal mentality. Okay, that is completely unforgivable to the likes of these people. So the people who are running GB News, which hasn't aired a single episode yet, not a single episode, they are having their dreams destroyed, their business cancelled. their life's work down the drain just as they were about to go to air by faceless people. They bring the hate, but they say they are, quote, stop funding hate. Well, why is the likes of BLM and Antifa getting funding if that is the case? Who funds them? Why don't you speak out against them? We continue. Don't fund GB News. So it is agreed that companies who advertise on GB News should be boycotted. The direction society is going in is frightening. It's frightening. And this Twitter thread is just full of people like this. It just goes to show you how effective mainstream media, that's everyone but Fox, or in this case GB News, how effective they have been at making the populace on the outside claim that they love diversity, but on the inside want absolute uniformity, absolute conformity. If you dare to have a single independent thought, you're going to get this treatment from them. Don't fund GB News trends to persuade advertisers not to spend with any Fox News style channel. Tesco Virgin Mobile says, oh, Jesus and Mary Goldie looking chains. This guy thinks a lot of himself. Tesco and Virgin Media. I won't continue to buy from a company that will willfully fund disinformation. Bearing in mind, again, GB News hasn't aired a single episode live on TV. They aren't yet on the cable news. Okay. It continues. Jimmy says Halifax Bank, Bank of Scotland, Lloyds Bank. So they're going to get every company, every bank, every provider in this net to intimidate them. Because that's what they're doing. When they say things like this, as an ex-employee of around 15 years and a customer who's had products with you for over 30 years, so instantly that part is all manipulation. Please assure me that you won't be advertising with GB News. And that's the intimidation. So you have manipulation followed by intimidation. It is only the left that does this. The right never do this. So you tell me who is the hateful ones. So here we have the main purveyors of the hate. They call themselves Stop Funding Hate, but they are actually a hate organisation themselves because they make it their business to destroy individuals or companies or organisations that have different opinions to them. Okay, they are weaponized usually by large multinational corporations or political organisations to target their enemies, and they do it. So the thing that's really strange here is that it's Andrew Neil's Great Britain News, GB News, will test whether there is appetite for a Fox-style news channel in the UK. Bearing in mind, Andrew Neil, for my American viewers, he was on the BBC for a very long time. And he, believe it or not, was one of the more reasonable BBC hosts. Yet, he was still BBC, right? They are the polar opposite of Fox News. So it just shows you how badly this is being used to whip up anti-GB News sentiment here. It hasn't aired a single episode. It continues for miles down the tweet thing. Next one, look, Cooperative Bank, they're getting in on it now. Brian says, at Cooperative Bank, I've been with you since I opened my account at 16. Manipulation. Haven't used any other bank. Manipulation. Please don't support this network by advertising with GB News or any other similar extreme right-wing network in the UK. What network in the UK is extreme right-wing? There isn't any. It's being set up by an ex-BBC news anchor You were born with a brain. Why don't you use it? DontFundGBNews trends to persuade advertisers not to spend with any, so they're just rehashing. Companies are caring more and more about brand safety. And they are, that's true. But what they're really concerned about is this type of thing. When they say they're concerned with brand safety, they're concerned with this type of thing. In the 1990s, adverts used to run on some of the most smuttiest of late night TV, and nobody batted an eyelid because back then you were free to have different opinions. What that code name means, brand safety, means they're concerned about hate mobs, Twitter hate mobs. Bearing in mind that the global population, how many of the global population use Twitter is 2%. This is where the phrase "get woke, go broke" comes in, because when people, and I don't blame them, because it's easy to look at this and think, oh my god, we're going to lose everything if we don't cut ties and stop advertising on this channel, that channel, the other. When they see this, it's easy to think it's the whole universe against you, the whole universe threatening you. But what you don't realise is it's only a tiny minority of the global population who are all on Twitter at the same time, tweeting the same thing about the same thing. That's what it means by "get woke, go broke." When you pander to these people, the second you pander to the Twitterati, you become their slave. You can't do anything then because they've got you. Then, if you do anything 10 months down the line, 5 years down the line, that they disagree with, and bearing in mind they're a hive mind, so once one of them disagrees with it, the one next to them will see that and disagree with it, and so on down the chain, and it will spread like fire. Then you'll just be cancelled 5 years down the line, or 10 months down the line, or wherever, because you gave in to them. They then own you, and don't let the Twitterati own you. Oh, this is ridiculous. Look at this. Look. So this is mainstream media gutter press article here. And you know they just print anything. So this is a concerted effort by the mainstream media, the left-wing media, who doesn't want any kind of populist news outlet in Britain. So they write a hit piece. National Front. So what they're doing is they're trying to associate a news organisation that doesn't exist yet in cahoots with something like a hate organisation like National Front, okay, a legit hate organisation. So that's what they do. They do things like this. They'll write a hit piece because they know there are people like Dan Wick here who will read it and automatically believe it. If they said, if they wrote a piece tomorrow saying that Andrew Neil, remember he's the ex-BBC anchor who's going to front this, was abducted by aliens, and they wrote a hit piece saying he's not going to be doing GB News anymore because he was abducted by aliens last night, Mr. Dan Wick would believe it. Because he read it in the Guardian, he read it in the Times, he read it in the Independent. We have a newspaper here called the Independent. It was meant to be, and once was, neither right-wing or left-wing. Now it's left-wing, but still calls itself the Independent. It's ridiculous. So yeah, it just continues more and more. Here, look, Karina says, as a regular customer of yours, Cooperative UK Manipulation, I'd like to see you to commit to not advertising with GB News. If you do advertise with them, I'll take my business elsewhere. Intimidation. And it just continues down the line. Manipulation, and then to intimidation. And oh look, here we go, here we go. I wondered when this would come along. Hashtag Fox News in the US, hashtag Republic in India, and now hashtag GB News in the UK. Guessed fascist right-wing forces learnt a lot from the Nazis. Well, did we? Because the fascists and the Nazis in Germany in particular, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, were socialists? And will you, Ishan Diwali, I want you to answer me this. If you see this, you probably won't, but if you do, is there such thing as a right-wing socialist? Because if there is, I want you to tell me where I can find one. The Communist Part, the People's Communist Party of China, the ruling Communist Party of China, they are nationalistic, but they are also communist. So, because they are all about China. So you tell me, can a communist be right-wing? Can a socialist be right-wing? Because if there are any, I want you to show me them. I was wondering when the N-word, Nazis, I don't mean that N-word, I was wondering when the Nazi word was going to come into play and the F-word was going to come into play. Look, especially having the forces of Joseph Goebbels on their side and payroll. What has this got to do with anything? This is what I said about when they whip it up into a frenzy. They whip themselves up into a frenzy. And it just continues. So here we have a complete ideologue, an absolute ideologue here, Elizabeth B. Exactly. I don't want Fox News copycat in the UK. Who cares what you want? What if somebody does want Fox News in the UK? Why do you get to dictate terms? I've seen the damage Fox News, Newsmax and OAN have done to the US democracy and society. They haven't done any damage to the society. On the contrary, if you want to lay the blame for damage done to society, lay it at the blame of mainstream media. They're the ones who whip people up into frenzies. They're the ones who want you to believe that there's a fascist hiding under every bed. Not Newsmax or OAN. This word I really hate. McGinn says, excellent to see DontFundGBNews touched a raw Gammon nerve. Now, if you don't know what Gammon is, it is a derogatory term for people like me, white working class people. It is most often used by middle class people who are masquerading as working class people, with the biggest one being Owen Jones. If you don't know who Owen Jones is, you can look him up. He is a middle class person, he is a socialist, though he has made a lot of money, all of his money through capitalism, but it's capitalism for him, socialism for everyone else. That's the world he wants. That's the Great Britain he wants, where he can have capitalism, but we've got to all have socialism. He has lived a life of fantastic privilege, but he thinks he's a working class hero because he wrote a book about working class people. But whenever he encounters a real working class person, he panics. He won't even look them in the eye. Like what happened with the incident with James Goddard. And instead, he just looked down at the ground and started making silly jokes about Gammon. Gammon being a derogatory term for working class people such as myself. So we'll end here because it just continues down and down and down. Oh look, they're even getting Amazon involved now. 3. Lidl, Sainsbury's, Tesco, Audi, EDF Energy, Nissan, Land Rover UK, Audi. These people live to destroy. Their life is built around knocking things down. Andrew Neil wanted to build a new media platform in GB News. These people, Andrew Neil being a conservative, he wanted to build something. These people being liberals, they came along and destroyed something. You see this rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat so often in Western society these days. A conservative will come along and build something, then a liberal will come along and destroy what they've built, possibly even take it over for themselves. And this is something that just keeps happening. But we'll leave it there because it just keeps going down and down and down. Lloyds Bank, NatWest, Santander, Waitrose, just on and on and on. They want to strangle it. They are literally trying to destroy a man's dreams. And here we have Dr. Lucy Lyons talking about, quote, ethics and integrity. Where's your ethics and integrity? Making vainglorious statements about misinformation spreading when you are literally spreading misinformation yourself. Accusing GB News of being the equivalent of hate speech, I'm using your own words, hate speech endorsing Fox News. Well, it hasn't even aired a single episode. But these people, they don't know that. They think it's up and running. They've just heard that it's bad. They've heard that it's like Fox News. So they're like, we need to take this off the air. We need to stop it from ever broadcasting again. They're spreading fake news. They're not even on air. They're not even gone on to production yet. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video around. That'll help me stay competitive. The likes of CNN, MSNBC, and the likes who are trying to cancel us as well. It only ever goes one way, but you knew that already. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.